Ohio State is not going anywhere. Look, fast start. It was very impressive. Get out. Buckeyes go right down, score on the opening drive, stopped Oregon. Now, when you look at kind of where things are going or whatnot, statistically speaking, I thought Will Howard had a solid performance. Solid. You look at the numbers, you're going to look at it and say, okay, there were a lot of things to like about this performance. No picks, was efficient, thought he made some nice throws in the game, thought he at times, used his legs accordingly. But there were also some huge mistakes made. The end of game clock management situation, which was challenging, I might add. The clock running, you get the push off or whatnot. That was big. You drop a snap. That was big. I mean, those were challenges. But considering Ohio State was really unable to run the ball consistently in the second half, put a lot of pressure on Will Howard's shoulders. They ran for $141, but 121 of those 141 yards came in the first half. So they kind of abandoned the run game and really couldn't get anything going in the final two quarters. So they really only had 31 offensive snaps there in the final two quarters as well. But the offensive line played pretty well. There weren't a ton of quarterback hits. There were no sacks. There weren't a ton of pressures. And I know they lost a couple guys, which is something that we'll be monitoring moving forward. Hopefully it's not for an extended period, even though it's sounding like it might be. This was, I think, more about what we saw from the defense of Ohio State. We knew this would be the best offense that Ohio State had faced up to this point. And the defense just didn't do what they needed to do. They gave up nearly 500 yards of offense. The defense held Oregon to 2 field goals in the red zone. They had to stop on 4th down, but those kind of came after allowing some big plays and allowing some long touchdowns. The defensive line, guys, these guys have been playing a lot of football. And I am constantly looking at Ohio State's defensive line and wondering why we don't get more production. They have talent, but I just want to get more production. I mean, no sacks in a game like this, tackles for loss, not happening. And then their best cover guy, you give up 180 yards when targeting him, including 51 yards after the catch and a couple touchdowns. Like that's just not going to get the job done. So Ohio State is back to the drawing board on defense. You got to give tons of credit to Oregon for sure. But I just want more from Ohio State's front. And I think the back end needs to elevate their level. They were left on islands a couple times too. They were left on islands, and that pass rush needs to have more of an impact because it just wasn't felt as much as it should have been in a game of that magnitude.